Hi everybody. So today I'm wanting to share with you this is a project share. This is my first design team project for Want to Scrap chipboard and embellishments. They sell, if you watched my DT package, they do sell chipboard mini albums. They sell flatback pearls, self-adhesive kind, sentiment, chipboard embellishment, just different embellishments, overlays, laces, paper, just a variety of things. So I'll put the link to their shop down in the description box. So I don't want to make this a long video because I already tried this before and it was kind of long. Normally I was supposed to do a video tutorial, but it actually took way too long. I hadn't really done one before. I really didn't think it was going to be that hard for me, but now I know the reason why I haven't done one, because I just take too long trying to decide where to put things, and I personally like seeing a tutorial that goes kind of fast. I don't like to have to sit there and just watch someone do something like what I was doing. So yeah, so anyhow, so I did record, like I say, like half of it, and then when I started embellishing, I kind of just lost my I just couldn't really do it no more. So anyhow, this here is the vintage handbag, vintage purse. This is one of May Larson designs that she did when she designed for their company. And as some of you know, I love anything vintage, paper, anything. So this handbag I knew I wanted to do, and so originally, like I said, this was going to be my tutorial, but of course it's a mini album and it took me too long. So anyhow, so it's thundering, so hopefully I can get through this. So what I did is I just started by painting all, I took off the ring, because it comes with a little ring here. I took that off. I painted all the edges about an inch, half inch, just with some folk art vintage white acrylic paint. Just so you can't see, the chipboard. As you can see, it's just, you can just barely see the paint color. And then I picked out my papers. I went ahead and got one of the pages, and I just traced out what I was going to use of the pattern paper, of the design paper. I just traced them out, and then it didn't really matter too much if they were even a little bit longer, only because I knew I was going to distress the edges. So after I cut all my patterns out, and actually I made little holes here, so I made 2 extra little holes there, and so after I did that, I started putting my paper, well, before I put the paper, I distressed the edges, like I said, and I use this tool here from Prima. Once in a while I'd use this one, but you can also use scissors as well to distress your papers if you don't have those tools. And so, and like I said, you don't have to paint the edges, but I like doing that to my mini albums. The other thing I had thought of using, but then I didn't, was these distress stains, but I didn't really have a light one. So anyhow, so then after that, I went ahead and after I distressed the edges, I applied some ink all along the edges. This is antique linen, and so I went all along the edges, and then I adhered the pages down. Now I use fabric tack like almost for everything. I'll use my hot glue gun for some things, but I won't adhere. This is just me personally, but I really don't like adhering with the glue gun paper. on chipboard or paper to paper because I feel like it eventually comes off. And so I use Fabri-Tac for everything, and so far everything is held. You can use an ATG gun if you have one, or I know you can use like even like tacky glue, like Aleene's tacky glue. You can also use, where did I do that? This score tape, but this, I only use this once in a while. I don't use it too often. So that's, like I say, personal preference, but that's my choice. You know, I usually buy a couple bottles, and then because I go through them fairly quick, and use coupons, of course. So if you're new to working with chipboard, that's my recommendation. You know, there's tons of tutorials out there, but this is what I did. And then another thing, what did I do after that? Oh, so after I put the paper, of course, I started embellishing. I began with doing the back, and this is kind of like my favorite page. I wanted it to look like a vintage handbag of sorts, and so I had this black, this is what I kind of have left, this black mesh bling. It's like it comes like in a big roll, and that's what I had left, and so I used that. And then these flat back pearls here came from this pack. There comes 250. As you can see, I have all the tiny ones. I used all the bigger ones, and luckily I had just enough, and so I adhered those actually using this because of the fine tip. This is Recollections Mixed Media Adhesive. So this worked really well for those small spots, you know. So I love that page. And then as you can see here in the front, I did the same. And I only had enough to do these two. If not, I would have probably done an extra row. And so then after I did that, like I say, I had each page separately, so I put them all together at the end. This was the next one I did. This pocket here is a glassine bag. All I did was fold it in like maybe like, I folded in like maybe like a fourth in, and then I adhered it, and then I distressed the edges using the this vintage photo distress ink, and then I distressed the paper as well, and I put some trim that I had in my stash. This chipboard is from the collection. This here, I used that from this piece that I got here. I liked it because it was kind of small, and the way I use that is I have this embossing ink. So being that it's tiny, you know, it's kind of delicate, this is the one I use, because normally I do use this kind of embossing, but you can use any kind you want on your chipboard as long as it's embossing powder, of course. I mean ink. And then this is the embossing powder that I use. This is Cindy's Stamp Gang Hibiscus Rose Orange. So this is one of my favorite ones that I like using. So it went really well with this collection, paper collection, and like the color scheme. And then I just went ahead and used some burlap petaloo flowers and prima flowers. Just for, I didn't want to you can't really overdo it, you know, because it's kind of, you don't want it too bulky. And then this page here, I went ahead and, oops, my page is coming off. I'm thinking I might put some grommets, or what are I can't remember what they're called, but I might put those here so it doesn't destroy the paper. I'm not positive though if I'll do that. But here I went ahead and made a photo mat, even though, you know, I figured you could still use this part here, but I did want to put this chipboard piece here. This is one of the Flourish that comes in the 4-pack. I did emboss it with the same embossing powder. For that one I did use this embossing because it has a dauber at the end. So that's what I used there. And then this paper flower I think is from Michael's, I think. I didn't want to overdo it with embellishments because of the paper. You know, it's already busy enough, so I kind of wanted to keep it simple. This other page, I just kept it really simple because I like that it has a flower there. And this die of those photo mats is this one from Heartfelt Creations. It's an eyelet oval, and you can do all those different dies, die cuts just with that one die, so that's kind of neat. This side here, I used, I just made kind of like a little waterfall photo mat there. You can add photos, journal on the back side. And then this came from the little pack that came, a packet of 2. It's one of their Silhouette products. It's really thin cardstock, or like, I think it's like cardstock, it's just extremely thin. And then I just used a chipboard embellishment from this collection. Same on this, I didn't want to overdo it with embellishing, so I just put the black photo mat and 3 flowers on there. This side here, I did another waterfall using journaling cards. Same with flowers, Prima and Petaloo flowers. These swirls here are from this, I'm dropping everything here, this Couture Swirls pack, and I'll list what I used in the description box. I really like these, and so I did use those there. Cut them up and used them there. And then this page here, I cut up half a doily. I didn't want it too bright white, so I used the Antique Linen Distress ink to kind of tone it, you know, so it wouldn't be so bright. So I did, like I said, I cut half the doily to use that as my pocket or tuck spot. Some more flowers. I can't remember where this flower is from. I think this is a Spare Parts flower. Yeah, I think it's a Paper Studio Spare Parts flower. And these other ones are Prima flowers. And then I was going to put a photo mat here, but then I changed my mind. And so I put a chipboard and another chipboard to get there. On this side here is another one of those really pretty photo mats. I love these. And I just added a couple flowers there and a chipboard key from the paper line as well. And then the front here, same flowers, Petaloo. Some of these are Prima. What else did I do? I really like this one here. This chipboard piece here is, the frame is from the 4-pack. This one right here. So they were good size, if you can see that. This one was a little bit smaller, but I went ahead with that one because I didn't want it to be too big on this. So I had this image in my stash, so I like, you know, that she had roses and this paper has roses, so kind of went with the collection. And I used the same embossing powder as well. I put some more of the Flourish pearls there. Moment in Time, that's from the chipboard embellishment. And then, like I say, this kind of goes with the back. And then, like I say, I punched some holes here, 2 more holes, and because I just found it easier for me to turn the pages. And then this seam binding I had got from the consignment shops. I really like the color. I think it was probably hand dyed. I'm not sure though, but this is how it came and I really liked it. So yeah, so this was my project. I hope that you like what I came up with, and that you'll go take a look at the Want to Scrap page, their website. They're constantly having sales, weekly, bi-weekly, and what else? Yeah, I'll put the links down in the description. They also have a Facebook page, for if whatever you create, you can share it, with us on there. And so yeah, I hope that you got an idea of what you can do with these chipboard albums. There's also a tutorial that May did, and she used like a lot of laces and stuff. And of course you all know my thing is paper, so I just wanted to give it a different, just show you a different way you can do it, if you're not a lace person, or so like there's not too much lace on here, so if you're just a paper person, then you can do something simple like this. And I'm hoping this week I can do something a little more simple, and it'll be a tutorial, hopefully, even if it's just a picture tutorial and snap guide. But anyhow, I hope that you liked my video. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and to Want to Scrap channel as well. And please leave a comment if you have any questions regarding this project, or anything else. Please comment below and I will get back to you. So anyway, well, I hope you all had a really nice weekend, and I hope that you have a great week ahead, and I will talk to you soon. Hopefully I can get this uploaded today. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.